ladies and gentlemen, you caught me. I'm looking at Hot Wheels. I have an addiction. Hi, my name is Reggie. I'm addicted to Hot Wheels. I keep buying them. The wife doesn't like it, but that's okay. We're not here to talk about my addiction. We're here to talk about anime. And do we have a topic for you today? It's a topic of debate amongst anime watchers and enjoyers. Some say it's a thing, some say it's not a thing. Some people try to classify it one way, some try to classify it another way. But we're here to tell you how we feel about it. And to talk about it with me, I have, of course, with me my very special host, one of my best friends, Saigon Cat.
What's up, everybody?
Wait, are you on that side of me or that side of me?
I'm on that side of you right now.
That side of me. Got
that
it.
Side of you.
Thank you.
You're shit. Anyways, no, I had no idea you had a Hot Wheels addiction.
Oh, yeah, I do.
There were literally no clues to it. Have you spoken to anyone about this problem?
Other Hot Wheel collectors and my wife.
I gotta get.
They say I don't.
I gotta get you playing Gaslands, man.
I could totally make cars for Gaslands. I totally actually. Let me see. Oh wait, they're over here. You mean cars like? Ooh.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's awesome.
I do stuff. I like modding my cars. But yeah, it's okay. I'll be all right. Maybe. Anyway. All right, so our topic today. Thanks,
Abyss.
Thanks, pal. Yeah. Yes.
I'm regretting sharing the link to my channel now.
Don't regret it. I enjoy all of them in their unique quirkiness. I enjoy all your followers, sir. I enjoy them all. But tonight we will be talking about the big three. Ooh, spooky.
There's really only one of those.
There is, but other people have other opinions. Other people don't. So we will see. So for those that don't know, I don't know why you're watching this show if you don't know, but you may be wanting to learn about anime. That's why you're watching our show.
They might be fresh. They might be new to anime.
Right.
The big three was more than 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got into anime in the last decade and you didn't get into the anime community, then you might not know what the big three is. So it's a legitimate thing to talk about.
This is true.
I
guess.
For
those that are unaware, the big three are, so I hit the right buttons. Oh, snap. That's right. They changed things.
Straw Hat, Datebayo, and why does my shuriken look like a swastika now?
So the big three are the three biggest anime and manga that came out of Shonen Jump, which would be Naruto, The Peace That Won't Stop, and The Bleach That Came Back. Because all of these started in the 90s. Because that's how long ago that these things were coming out, and yes, that exact one. That's
the only big three. It's the only big three. So, the big three, not a big three. The big three.
So there are those that are opinionated that the big three shouldn't be a thing. No, I have to find buttons, man. I'm sorry. I'm in control of the full show. It takes me a moment.
Don't engage with them. Don't engage with them, Reggie.
But you know I like engaging with them. You know this. I love the drama. I can't help it. But
yeah, do you want to continue explaining what the big three was?
Basically, it's the top read and watched shows that came out of Shonen Jump. So for most people, when they say the big three, it's these three. If they say a big three, typically it refers to at manga that have been printed in Shonen Jump. That is typically the caveat. But there are those that also say, hey, it is the best anime and their manga that have come out at the time. Everyone has an opinion.
And a lot of those opinions are wrong.
Okay, true. The big three, yes, there's only one, the big three. But everyone always has to compare apples and oranges and grapples to other things that may look the same but may not be the same. So therefore, they always have to ask, what is the next big three?
I
Always.
had really strong feelings about this earlier when
Yes.
I was like, what are we talking about tonight? And you're like, the big three. And I immediately like started ranting.
Save it for the show, sir. Save it for the show.
Yeah, you shut me up.
Like, stop it. And he gave me the sad, like, I've never.
I was ready to go. I was fired up. I was like, here's why we shouldn't talk about the big three. It's like, stop. Calm down.
Sir, we have a show to talk about this on, sir. So anyway, I'm going to read what he wrote because, I'm a good friend. And
well, first, you got to clarify with exactly what you framed tonight's show as.
This is true. So this is how I framed it, which is what we're going to be talking about. It says, I asked the big three per the generations, even though I put a V, it's per generations. And I said, do we agree? Changes. Should they be a big three? Is it biased to Shonen Jump? To which my good friend said,
no, just read what I said.
Okay.
What I said.
So it says, I feel like the big three started and ended with the big three. I don't feel like anything has really replaced them. They came out during a unique era when the way we watched anime was changing. It was as much about the timing and accessibility as it was about quality and popularity, which I see no issue with. Those are all correct statements.
I stand by that because I'm out of business down here typing paragraphs out. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's ever going to be another big three in the same way, because you got to remember when Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece started, not only did we get those anime fairly quickly compared to how quickly we'd gotten anime localized before, they came out at the same time as we started getting Shonen Jump. Like, we actually started getting Shonen Jump, and the first stuff that we got in our Shonen Jump was those three. Right. Plus a couple other weird ones that I'm kind of sad never got more attention, like Sandland, which was
oh my god, I enjoyed that anime so much.
God, Sandland was good. There were some other really cool things in Shonen Jump, a lot of interesting one shots and things. But yeah, I'd followed Shonen Jump for a couple of years, read the big three during that period, and then eventually started reading them on Manga Fox. I don't remember what the pirating manga sites were at the time. They weren't being localized at the time. It wasn't stealing.
It wasn't. You couldn't get it any other way.
Stealing implies that something has been taken from someone else.
Right. We didn't take it. We just read it.
But yeah, so it was a unique period because it was kind of the end of the piracy age and the beginning of the legitimate seasonal anime age. And it was just a perfect time with the youth of that time having access to these things. You had Bleach coming out on Adult Swim with honestly a pretty decent dub.
Right.
Like, looking back, I don't really have any issues with the Bleach dub. And oh man, those openings and endings. Right. Yes. What's up, Mia? And then, despite some rocky starts with the Naruto and One Piece localizations, some very, very rough starts with those localizations. Right. They were very focused on those localizations on appealing to kids, especially. Were both of them for kids, or was that just One Piece? I know 4Kids Entertainment got One Piece first.
I think 4Kids got One Piece. Everything else ended up, they just got One Piece. I never saw Bleach or Naruto on Fox ever.
No, Bleach was on Cartoon Network on Adult
Yep,
Swim.
along with
I
Dragon Ball,
was
and then
Naruto also on.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember who was localizing Naruto, but it wasn't great at the beginning. I
God
don't
no.
know if it ever got better. But yeah, those shows, they just came out at the time when anime was suddenly becoming more accessible. You could actually get manga at your 7-Eleven off of the magazine shelf.
Right.
It was all so accessible just suddenly. And then you had 3 pretty good manga coming out, followed by 3 pretty decent anime adaptations. Some of them took a little bit to get decent. Naruto was on regular Cartoon Network. So probably coming on before Adult Swim.
Probably.
Yeah, so I feel like trying to say that something else is replacing the big 3, or it's the new big 3 with regards to other current shonen like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer and My Hero. I the timing's off. We're not seeing a change in how we watch anime now. So I stand.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
If you were lucky, you got it on eBay. Prior to this, you had to go to conventions to buy pirated fan subs like on bad VHS copies. It was
bad. The the,
I'm
the, the old days, it was not as easy as it is
I,
now.
I feel
Nowhere
like
near.
such an old man talking about it. Like your kids have no idea how good you have it. You can just
Be strong and crunchy rolls.
open up your internet and you can watch any anime that you want at a fair and reasonable price. You weren't going to conventions to drop $50 on a bad fan sub or even worse, a fan dub of
Right?
a show that you might have not even heard of.
Is this good? What did I just watch? I spent $40 on this?
Watch some weird shows back then.
Because you were just trying to find something that resonated. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I came across Demon City.
Demon
Yeah,
City
what's this?
Shinjuku.
Yeah, I'm like, what's this? Oh, okay. That's a thing.
I never saw Demon City Shinjuku. That one's related to Wicked City though, right?
Yeah. Actually, no, I saw the first Wicked City first, and then because it went and left a burning impression on me, I'm like, let me see Demon City.
left a burning impression on many a young man.
I was like, let me. Why?
Oh, the bad Piccolo dub. Yeah. Let's talk about Pioneers Dragon Ball Z.
But see, I want to talk about it, but I can't. But I want to because I know the person that did some of the original dubbing for the Pioneer version.
Do you? So
yes,
you don't want to be like mean.
No. Well, no, his characters were done well because most people don't have issue with his characters.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it is actually the gentleman that does the Grand Kai and Berter and Jace and all and the original Portin in the Pioneer dub. I don't know who else he did in the Pioneer dub, but yeah, he talks about it when he does his stand up where he's at a convention, and he's like, yeah, they paid me $50 to go in there and talk into a booth, and then I left, and I didn't know what I was doing, and then I saw it.
Did Pioneer even get as far as Jason Berta?
I don't know.
I feel like they maybe got to finished the Saiyan saga.
I think let me look that up.
I'm not sure. I know that Pioneer did not have a very long run. Anyways. So yeah, that's the big 3.
The big 3. And yeah, it's just there are those that feel that you always have to have a big three, and that if you don't, then something's missing. But once again, with the way that we get anime, you can't really have a big three because, like Steven said, you get it all at one time now. It's not just, hey, here's the anime that we can get right here, right now. This is what we're going to watch. And you just find those ones that just are there with everyone and resonate with everyone.
Mm-hmm. And there's definitely been really important, super popular anime since then. Like, Chainsaw Man is pretty universally liked. My Hero Academia is pretty universally liked. One Punch Man. I mean, we've had a lot of hyper popular shonen since then. And a lot of them have fared better overall. I think I don't actually have anything negative to say about One Piece. I stopped reading
Except
One
it doesn't
Piece.
stop.
Yeah, well,
That's
I
my only
mean,
gripe. It doesn't
yeah,
stop.
if I had a gripe about One Piece is that I could never possibly consider catching back up on it.
No. No.
But I read One Piece for a good long while, and it never had a point where I was like, this is kind of stupid. Whereas with Naruto, even in the manga, there were pacing problems with Naruto. Sometimes it didn't really feel like it had any direction. Sometimes characters just made some weird decisions. I don't know if those inconsistencies in the characters ever got rectified because I didn't finish Naruto. I kept reading it through a Ninja War. It definitely wasn't the first Ninja War that I read through. But like it, even when Naruto wasn't great, usually the next arc made up for it. And it would find something new and interesting to do. Like I loved Jiraiya. I loved his whole introduction and his story in Naruto. Bleach doesn't really have that. It's a lot harder to be nice to Bleach. Bleach started off really, really good, and I don't hold it against the mangaka at all. Bleach is a case study in how much damage your publisher can do to your work.
Oof. Yeah. So you're saying they're like Sony when they make Marvel movies back in the beginning?
In the beginning, they weren't that bad.
They only had one good one, and it's the first Fantastic Four. Everything after the first Fantastic Four was not so great.
Spider-Man?
Until Spider-Man.
So, the first Fantastic Four was fine, especially for the era. I mean, for the era, the first Fantastic Four, like compared to other superhero movies that we had at the time, it was pretty okay.
Right.
Silver Surfer was it wasn't awful. And then we had Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, that's where it got better. Was those first two
until the third one.
Yeah, like I said, the first two. We're going to tingle somewhere. I'm like, oh God, they did not make him say that.
Oh my God. I saw the third one in theaters. I saw the third one in theaters for my birthday. I was so excited for it. And then I watched it and I left the movie theater like, oh.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Spider-Man 3 was no.
Yeah. It's a lot like watching Bleach.
Like, man, I love this. What are you doing to the thing that I love?
Great. And then you get a couple arcs into it and you're like, oh, this isn't good anymore.
This is, and I did try to watch Bleach. I've actually tried to watch all of this. Naruto, I watched all of Naruto up through Shippuden. I've not watched Boruto. I have no desire to.
But you finished Naruto?
Yes, I finished.
Do they ever rectify like some of the just weird, inconsistent choices that characters make?
No, because they still make them.
They make them
better at other choices. Sometimes they still just make weird, random choices.
So,
Yeah.
and you
They
don't
got
have to spoil this for anyone who might be working their way through Naruto at this time. Do is it ever explained why Sasuke is such a bitch?
no, never.
No. Okay.
Wait,
So
wait, wait,
you
wait.
just
A little bit, a little
a
bit,
little bit.
a little
Okay.
bit. Because I can't tell you if you haven't watched Shippuden, I can't tell you about this. They do rectify it a little bit, and you see why. And uh, yeah, I can't tell you anymore
Is
without
it
spoiling.
enough though to save
No,
that character?
no, because he's still a whiny bitch still afterwards. See, Shannon agrees.
If you hear screaming in the background, my wife, and for those of you not from my channel, my wife is of both Irish and Scottish descent, and she is currently watching the Ireland versus US football game. So I only discovered she was a hooligan last year. I had no idea. She kept
American
this a
woman,
secret from
everything.
me. So that's what the screaming is in the background, and I apologize.
You will learn to accept it. At least she's not playing League in the background.
No, if it was League in the background, they'd be very different noises.
This is true. This is true. All right. So I
So
did. Oh, go ahead.
so they sort of explain Sasuke. All right,
Yeah, they
I'll
do, but
take it.
he's still a whiny bitch. Like I understand the reason. I watched the episodes. I understood why, and I'm like, cool. Stop being a whiny bitch. Guess what? Less of a whiny bitch.
So let's start with the picture on the left and work our way to the right. Do
Yes.
you feel that today it is worthy of someone's time to go back and read or watch Naruto from the beginning?
I'm going to say this about all of them. They all need the abridged versions. Every single one of these needs the abridged version because I bought the original Naruto, the first series complete with filler intact, and that's how I watched it. I do not recommend watching it that way at all. Why are we watching Neji talk about this during an episode? Aren't you supposed to be getting ready for a war? What is this? Okay, cool.
So much filler.
Shikamaru's got this going on. Why are we talking about it? What?
What the best part is that Naruto is not even the worst offender on this picture for filler.
Oh my god, no.
So, have you kept up with One Piece?
No, God, no. I've jumped into One Piece 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning, cool. Pick it up somewhere. I'm like, oh, let me go see what they're talking about now. What the hell? Let me see if I can go catch up. Then I look at, I gotta watch how many episodes? Oh, well, hell no. And then Randy and I like fell into it one day. I'm like, oh, let me watch this. Watched a few episodes. I watched the fight where he was on the Snake Lady Island. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's cool. What the hell is going on? I can't be here anymore. I gotta go. And then I left.
Yeah,
and
like
I fell into the Rukia arc. I'm like, oh, they stole his girl. They haven't confessed yet. You can't do that. I watched
Rukia. Is there a Rukia in One Piece?
Rukia. What the hell is this chick? The dark haired chick that made him become a soul eater.
That's Bleach. I thought we were talking about One Piece still.
I jumped.
You jumped. You're talking about One Piece, and then you started talking about Rukia. No, Rukia is the right character for Bleach.
Not here.
You just jumped series.
Yes, but yeah, One Piece. I was when I first started watching Naruto after it was on Cartoon Network. I'm like, cool, let me watch this. Went out, boom. Bought the DVD, which was not the official DVD because there was no such thing for it when it was on Cartoon Network.
No, but that was what was the name of that great anime store with all of the pirated DVDs up in Denver?
Oh, yes, the one I went to. Oh, it was anime. Oh, crap! But yeah, that one. That's the one I went. That's where I got my Naruto from.
Was it
and
Animaniacs?
I was like, yeah. Yes, Animaniacs. Are they still around? Hold on, you sparked my interest now.
I'd be amazed if they're still around. A lot of stores that used to get by on selling, like Lucky Neko, those stores can't exist anymore because it's so easy to get your anime.
Right.
You know, they got by on selling pirated DVDs for $50.
Right.
Which at the time, That was a steal. $50 for a season. Oh my God. But yeah, I had really fond memories of hanging out at your place up in Denver on New Year's Eves and just like marathoning anime.
Yes,
Good times.
it was. Oh, by the way, a thing that Steven and I had for like a good like almost 10 years was one of us is going to show up at the other's place and we're going to spend New Year's Eve and we're going to drink and watch anime and have a good time.
And fried chicken, just like
And
Japan
fried
does
chicken.
it. Oh
Yep,
no, Japan does it on Christmas.
that's right.
Close though.
FYE. Yep, yep. We didn't have an FYE, but I know of FYE. And yeah, it was still cheaper than some of that.
Oh my God, buying the anime official, and like I bought every DVD copy of X when it came out with the slipcovers.
I
So
remember you. Do you still have that whole
I
set?
still have that. I
I
still have
remember you're
that
like,
box set.
yeah. I'm like, oh snap, look at that.
I've unloaded a lot of my anime over the years, but I still have that. I still have my Noir box set, which is
Ooh,
interesting to me because I haven't actually finished watching that damn show.
sir, you own it.
I know.
Sir, you own it.
I know.
No, they are no longer there. Sad times, but good.
Yeah. I don't know how they would continue to exist.
This is true. This is true.
Even those little anime stores that you get in like the Citadel Mall that have like all the crappy overpriced merchandise
Yes,
that's not official, like even those ones struggle to stay in business and their overhead has to be just nothing.
It does, because sometimes I look there, I'm like, this is the official art. This is not the official screen print. I can see through this.
Yeah. And I have news. If your business is being run out of a mall, you are already failing.
This is true. This is true. Oh, what? Oh, what's the name of the site that we used to buy all of our anime gear from? No. Oh, what the hell? What?
Are you?
It's like the one like right before everybody started doing it. They were like the website to go to, and my brain is now failing me.
It's where I used to get all my Dragon Quest stuff.
Yes, probably.
J-List.
J-List.
Oh, J-List. Not what I was thinking of. But yes, J-List. I forgot about J-List. I was thinking of
Ooh, that did not exist back in the early 2000s. And if it did, it was not in America.
Which one? What did he say?
AliExpress.
AliExpress. Well. I can't remember the name of this freaking place. It'll come to me later. Probably after we end the stream.
Exactly. Let's see.
Okay, so neither of us kept up with One Piece. Obviously, neither of us have finished One Piece because it's not over.
You can't finish something that won't stop.
Yeah. Bleach, though. Did you finish Bleach?
No. So
Me neither.
So once again, I started watching Bleach. I watched all the way up to the Rukia arc, and that was where I met my fill of filler. Like, I put up with it for Naruto. I got to the Rukia arc, and you think Dragon Ball drags things out? Bruh, you needed to run 5 blocks to go to a tower to get your girl. Why did that take 30 episodes to run 5 blocks?
And Bleach, so most anime has some filler. It's not as big a problem now as it used to be, but you'd usually get like a filler episode. And sometimes you'd get an absolutely amazing filler episode, like Goku and Piccolo learning to drive. That's not in the manga.
But that was a great episode.
It is one of the best episodes of Dragon Ball across all the Dragon Ball series. And, it's a good example of how to do filler.
That's when I learned Piccolo was black.
Bleach.
I'm like, what's Piccolo wearing? Oh, snap. Piccolo's black.
We already knew Piccolo was black.
This is true. But yeah, the filler in Bleach. Oh, My God.
It's entire seasons. You get entire seasons of filler in Bleach. It's absolutely insane. And the worst part is you can't skip it because they worked important parts of the filler into non-filler parts of the show that mess with the story that you wouldn't know if you'd read the manga. So like you could read the manga for like the first 3 arcs and then watch the 4th arc animated and it wouldn't make any sense because they refer back to stuff that happened in filler. God.
That's why I didn't watch it. I really tried. I really did try. And I'm like, cool. And it's it's just the typical thing of it's a shonen anime. You're my enemy. We fight. I don't kill you. I feel less hatred towards you. Okay. And then later on they become your buddy. It's the typical cycle. Cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then the good guys turned out to be the bad guys. And then you got to save your girlfriend from them. And that takes forever.
Yeah. And it didn't even with other shows that have the main character problem, like Goku just always having to be the hero, even when Gohan is set up to be the hero, and like most of early parts of Dragon Ball Z are the hero's journey for Gohan to catch up to and surpass his father, and then Goku shows up anyways.
Except for when he's blowing himself up.
Bleach is so much worse. So much worse. Every time they had a great story arc going for God, what were his 2 friends' names? Chad? Was it Chad? The big dude with the long hair. I feel like his name was Chad, which is a very not Japanese name. But no. I can't remember. And then the girl with the hair pieces that had like fairies that come out that help her.
Yes, both of them earrings. Oh
yeah, they both had like several really good character arcs where they had like their own villain and their own stuff they were dealing with, and you were getting really excited for them to deal with it, and then they'd get beat, and Ichigo would have to show up and save them again. And that got frustrating to happen over and over. I didn't watch too much of the anime. I watched up through Aizen in the anime.
I didn't even get that far.
Yeah. I read the manga for a really long time. Like well past the point where I should have stopped reading the manga. Was it Chad? Okay. I'm not crazy. His name
I shouldn't
be
reading this yet. Here I am. You want to talk about me giving things chances?
Yeah, no, I gave Bleach way too long of a chance. I don't know why I kept reading Bleach for as long as I did. He had so many different sets of powers because like he lost his Shinigami powers at one point and picked up an entire separate set of powers. And that kept happening. It was like watching Samus lose her powers at the beginning of every Metroid game.
Yeah, I was like, it's like Samus at the beginning of every Metroid. Look how OP I am. Oh no, Ridley, why?
Yeah, but eventually he gets the powers back and then he like fuses them together and it's awesome. And it was so bad for so long. And then like occasionally something awesome would happen. Like you'd get a really good arc out of 10 arcs. Whereas Naruto was like you'd get 1 bad arc for every 2 good arcs. With Bleach, you'd get 1 good arc for every 10 bad arcs. So like there was a point where I was like, oh my God, Bleach is getting good again. And then that arc finished and I went back to being crap. I cannot recommend that anyone go back and read Bleach. I understand that the new season is like hype as hell and amazing, and it's probably an amazing reward for people who stuck through it. I'm not one of those people.
It is not for him. It is not for me, but it may be for you.
If you're a Bleach fan, congratulations. I'm glad that you're getting good Bleach again.
Right?
Because
we couldn't tough it out. It wasn't for us.
No. And you, frankly, Bleach fans deserve all of the love in the world because they have suffered.
That they have. All right. So on to the second part of the topic. Should there be other big threes? I found some pictures online. We will discuss them. And of course, They're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go here. So this is how they set this up.
Oh, that's looking at just the top half of this. I get it. The top half of this, I get it. Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, and Sailor Moon.
Those
That's a pretty good original big three. I get it. And that was also when like anime in the US was in its infancy.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense to me. Because to me, the big three wasn't just about the shows, it was about the time.
Right.
Do you remember I think it was at my apartment over on Academy and Woodman.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember seeing the kids in the parking lot with their Naruto headbands running around and playing Naruto?
No. Well, I was mostly over at nightish, so
okay,
be out there running around.
So one day on my way to work, there were a bunch of kids wearing Naruto headbands, running around doing the finger things, and quoting the show. And I was like, holy shit, that's big.
Right?
That's big. And it reminded me of when I was a lot younger trying to do Kamehameha waves. It was, you tried too, don't laugh.
Dragon punches and tiger punches. Thank you. What?
Just a little bit too much love for a second.
Dope. Don't get mad because I kick you out of the air. It's okay.
I'm gonna be mad about it until my dying days. So okay. I feel like that's a good example because it's as much about a change in anime as it was about the actual shows and their popularity. And then we just talked about the big three. Middle generation big three. No, there wasn't. The changeover in anime had already happened. And you know what? As much as you can pick out those three shows as being excellent for the time and when they came out and all the hype surrounding them, I can pick out a bunch of other shows from that time that were also really damn good and also got a lot of attention. You don't have people talking about like Fruits Basket or Haruhi Suzumiya. Haruhi Suzumiya was freaking huge. And God, what's another one? Ouran High School Host Club. Those were also in that same era. Maybe a little bit before, but and they were just as important as anime and bringing people in. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this is definitely all of these on here, except for Sailor Moon, are shonen. I'm just now realizing.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a mistake.
Why is that?
Because since the big three, with anime becoming that much more popular, we are seeing the rise of a lot of very popular shows that aren't necessarily shonen.
There's a lot of shoujo that I watch. Putting that out there. That's like my thing. You would think that I don't. I love me some freaking shoujo. I don't know why, but it pulls me in and I enjoy watching it.
Have you watched Horimiya yet?
Horimiya? I don't think so.
That one's great. That might be my favorite shoujo. That's so good. That's so good.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't asked you this week.
Yes, I did. I've already started watching it. Yes,
Are you liking it?
Yes. How does she exist, sir? How does she exist?
What do you mean, how does she exist? You know these people. You collect these people.
Y'all aren't this bad, though. You were not as bad. You were not that. I could get
okay, I wasn't that bad. I wasn't that bad, but you know people that bad.
Yeah, Ray is still that bad.
I don't find Ray to actually be antisocial. Ray's just weird.
We love you, Ray, but you're
I love
weird.
Ray. Ray, if you're watching this, I love you. He's just weird. Like, if you aren't acclimated to Ray, you meet him and you're like, what's up with that guy?
Is
Like,
he angry?
that's
Does
just
he
who
not
he
like
is.
me?
Oh no, he just has like Ray has the worst RBF I've ever seen. Like, I thought I was bad. I thought my wife was bad about RBF. No, Ray looks like he is plotting at all times to put a bullet in your brain and nobody will ever find out. That's just what he looks like.
10%
Great guy.
10% of the time, that's what he's thinking because you pissed him off.
No, I pissed him off. It's a hobby of mine.
Well, my hobby was, making him feel awkward, and I succeeded twice at that. Hey, you see our friend in that booth with us? Go flirt with him. Oh my God, she's so cute.
We were talking about that night.
Yeah, because he was sitting there being all like, we're like, he's being sent off. We're like, hey, that's our friend, not you, Ray. Our other friend, Ray.
Another Ray.
Other Rays besides you, ma'am. He is that way, not you.
Yeah, Ray is actually a nickname though, because he's such a big Eva fan and such a big Ray fan. So somebody before we knew him had started calling him Ray. So he was going by Ray for a while.
And he hates his government name.
Yeah.
Because it's not a traditional of the family type name, and he's like, "Why did you give me this name?"
Well, oh my gosh, let's not get into the politics of Ray's family and his ancestry. We do not have the time to unpack that.
We don't have the time when we're not on the show to unpack that. That's a lot to unpack.
I don't have the qualifications to discuss that. Like, I feel like I need to go to college for 4 years before I can like properly discuss and understand the complexities there. Anyways, the new generation big three,
it's interchangeable. I'm sorry, it is interchangeable with that generation. It's so interchangeable.
There's too many, and honestly, I can think of other shows that have been bigger than these 6 at the bottom. Where's Sword Art Online?
Right.
I'm not saying that as a Sword Art Online fan. I'm saying that based on just how freaking huge it was.
It got big.
There's no discussion when you said, the big 3. Everyone knows you're talking about Bleach, you're talking about Naruto, you're talking about One Piece. If you say the current big 3, there's going to be an argument because nobody's going to agree on what the current big 3 are.
This is true because, once again, it's interchangeable. These shows are big. They're huge. They have an impact. But guess what? There's not just 3 of them. There's 7 of them. Like, bruh, in the new generation, where's Dr. Stone? Like, for real. That show has a huge impact and a huge following. Where's Dr. Stone?
It's so shocking to me that Dr. Stone took this long to get an adaptation. I remember reading Dr. Stone like over 10 years ago.
It's that old?
It's that old.
Damn. Damn, but hey, it's got a good adaptation. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and it's fine for what it is, and it's very popular, and it deserves its popularity. There's some things on here that I don't understand why they lasted. I'm mainly talking about Black Clover.
Sir,
Black Clover had a very rough start.
It was rough.
Every other show on here, I'm like, I see why it grew and got popular. Black Clover, I'm like, why did they let it air so long? Did they just know that eventually it was going to be okay?
Yes, they did. Most people did not get past it because of the screaming. And I get that. I understand that. I don't know how. I just ignored it. After like the 3rd episode, I just started ignoring it. I'm like, oh, Asta's screaming again. All right, cool.
It didn't pass the 3-episode rule. If somebody is fervent about me watching a show, I'll give it 3 episodes. And if it's still not good after 3 episodes, then how long do I have to watch it before it's worth watching? I don't want to have to invest that much time. There's so much anime out there right now. I can't watch all the things I want to watch.
Right?
Like, why am I going to spend, more than 3 episodes waiting for something to get good?
Sadly for this one, it took 5 episodes for him to get his grimoire.
That's too long.
It is.
That's too long. That's like telling somebody, hey, watch these 2 movies. You have to watch the first one for the second one to be good, but the first one isn't good. Like, I'm not going to watch a movie that's not good just to make the second one better. I just won't watch either of them.
Exactly. And then I also have this, which is a bit more in depth. And I saw this one and I was like, okay, let's talk about it.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
They went back instead of forward. They went back.
Interesting. I still don't see this being a big 3 thing. There's some merit there to Pokemon, Digimon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I honestly cannot speak too much about the 60s and 70s and 80s anime. I've watched some Speed Racer because my mom was actually a Speed Racer fan, which surprised me when I learned that. She was like, "Oh, Speed Racer. I love Speed Racer."
Sorry.
What?
Bitch just brought something up that's going to upset you, but also make you laugh. I'm sorry.
I'm so glad Abyss is here. No, Warframe's great after the first 100 hours. I can't convince people to play Warframe. Like, wow, you have so many hours on this. You've played this game for several hundreds of hours. I'm like, yeah, it's fantastic. They're like, should I start it? No. It takes 100 hours before it gets good. You're just going to be confused and bewildered and angry at me if I tell you to play it for 100 hours and then it'll be good. And they're like,
that's the wife's experience. She's like, I want to play it too. Cool. You have to do these things in this order. Go back to there. Do this thing over here. Go back to here. Do this. Then you go here. You see you can go there, but you can't really go there because you don't have all the things. So you got to go back to these 2 and farm the things you need out of these 2 to be able to go to here to be able to get past there.
Yeah, Warframe
doesn't. That's just Earth. That's just Earth.
It doesn't tell you anything. It's a trial by fire before you're allowed to have fun. And when I say trial by fire, I don't mean like, oh man, this tutorial is really hard, like Dark Souls or something. I mean, you are walking your ass to Mordor before you find out how the game is fun.
Like literally, the tutorial is the first half of the first level you play. It shows you how to do things. And then it just says, here, get to the end of the level. That's it.
So we got Speed Racer, which I've watched some of. It's
hard to watch.
It is hard to watch. That is that's a great way of putting it. Astro Boy. I have seen clips of Astro Boy. I don't think I want to try watching Astro Boy.
I've never sat down to watch it ever. Mm-hmm.
I watched the Americanized CG one that we got.
That one was all right.
Over a decade ago. I know that fans of the original did not like it, but I thought it was fine. But I also don't know anything about the original Astro Boy, so I don't know if my opinion is valid on that.
Right.
Kimba, never seen it. I know it because it's Macbeth, and I know it because a very, very large animation company just straight up stole it. Like, this is amazing. Make sure to change this name around a bit. They changed a letter.
A letter.
And the coloring of him. It's like, it's not even subtle. Like, you can check out clips of Kimba and I swear they stole the storyboarding sometimes. It's like watching those westerns that just completely ripped off Kurosawa.
Yes.
So Seven Samurai and Magnificent Seven. Magnificent Seven is like a shot-for-shot remake of Seven Samurai with guns. And it's even worse with the Clint Eastwood Stranger movies. The Stranger with No Name.
Mm-hmm.
Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More,
Mm-hmm.
just completely ripped off of Yojimbo and Sanjuro,
I didn't.
almost shot for shot. It's embarrassing to watch one of them and then watch the other and then read that the director was like, no, I've never seen it before.
Sir, you recreated the movie with Americans in Italy. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
and I like them both. Like, if you're going to rip something off and do a good job of it, that's a great example of how to rip something off and do a good job of it. I just wish, he'd been honest. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm a huge Kurosawa fan.
Right?
If he'd just said that, I'd have been like, okay, I get it. Yeah. Voltron, Reggie.
Yes.
Voltron was a bit before my time. Do you want to talk about Voltron?
Yes. I can take over here. So the 80s, I don't agree with at all, except for Voltron. Like you can have Saint Seiya in there, or you can put in the one I always get confused with that we were just talking about. The Zodiac
Oh,
Warrior.
Ronin Warriors.
Yeah, Ronin
Ronin
Warriors.
Warriors, which you
Yep.
keep confusing with Saint Seiya.
Yes.
Nothing alike.
It's dudes, it's 5 dudes in armor, man. What do you want? Although one does get more than 5 at one point in time, but still. And Ken, that should be Macross. I'm sorry. That not Macross. I said that should be Robotech.
So,
even though it's 3 different shows, it should still be Robotech. Because if not for Robotech and Voltron, big robot anime would not have taken off in America at all.
And
we would not have got Transformers.
I would leave Hokuto no Ken there. I've actually read the entire manga of Hokuto no Ken. It's freaking awesome. And there's some stuff that has not aged well. Like there's a lot of stuff that hasn't aged well, but I think overall Hokuto no Ken is still really worth reading. You just have to go into it and remind yourself every other chapter, like this was written in the 80s. This was written in the 80s. Saint Seiya, I would replace Saint Seiya and throw in Macross there.
Okay, I would be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch Fist of the North Star or read it when it first was around. I didn't find that out until actually around the same time as Dragon Ball. So I came across it later. But yeah, Saint Seiya, as much as I like it, it didn't have it had a big impact outside of America. The toys and the shows outside of America were huge. In America, not as much. Not nearly as much.
In terms of cultural influence, I feel like we'd have to just take the 60s, 70s, and 80s and maybe pick one from each of those decades. Like Astro Boy, obviously. I don't care for Astro Boy from what I've seen of it. Again, just clips. I don't feel I could sit down and watch it and enjoy it. But Astro Boy is single-handedly responsible for inspiring generations of some of the best mangaka and anime directors. Hands down, bar none. If you look at this list and you say, what is the most important anime on this list? I will 100% always say Astro Boy is the most important anime on this list. Everything else probably would not have happened the way that it did without Astro Boy.
Right.
From the 70s.
That is the RS-78. At least it looks like it's tiny. So it looks like the RS-78.
RX. That's the RX-78. Yes, that is Amuro Ray's RX-78. I love the original Gundam. I have to give it to Gundam. I didn't watch Gatchaman growing up.
G-Force as it's known here in America.
G-Force as it's known here. Doraemon. I know that Doraemon is like massively popular in Japan. I don't know a thing about Doraemon.
I know they make jokes to it. That's all I know.
And I would definitely make the argument that Doraemon is, culturally significant in Japan, but so is Gundam. Like, I'd give that to both of them. I don't know that, like, Gatchaman does not hold the same level of popularity this much later. It did get that new series. It got Crowds.
Oh, so good.
Crowds was fantastic. Crowds was so good.
So good. Look, I'm just a regular average girl. Oh no, I found superheroes. I guess I'm a superhero now.
Yeah. And then from the 80s, I love Hokuto no Ken, and I didn't watch the original Voltron, but I'd have to say Voltron.
Because Gatchaman paved the way for Voltron. Because even though they aired at the same time, like for a while, like it originally, this one was here first. And then because they had this one, somebody else is like, well, we need our heroes of 5 people. We need our Sentai anime that we're going to play. And Voltron became that one. And that is the I can honestly say Voltron is the reason we have Power Rangers, flat out. Period.
Oh yeah.
If it wasn't for Voltron, we wouldn't have Power Rangers. We wouldn't have any Sentai shows because Gatchaman is a Sentai show, but it didn't catch on the way Voltron did.
No, but I see what you're saying about it, like inspiring Voltron. And so, like, we wouldn't have gotten Voltron without Gatchaman, and then without Voltron, where would we be?
We wouldn't have as much giant robot anime. Well, actually, no, I don't.
It's not a world I want to live in.
I won't say that because I'm sure Gundam would have just trudged on regardless of
whether. Oh, so here's the discussion though, because now you're talking about there's a distinction between mecha and mecha super robots.
This is true.
So the two different things.
We would have mecha anime. We would not have super robots.
At least not in the same way. Voltron wasn't the first super robot. Like I feel like somebody else would have come along later and been like, man, remember Getter Robo? And given us some more super robot stuff. It certainly, we might have not gotten the whole, multiple robots joining together to turn into the Megazord, but
it would have been
I feel like we would have gotten super robots, just a very different flavor of super robots.
True.
Obviously the 80s and 90s, we already talked about that. I'd completely spaced Pokemon, Digimon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Those very culturally significant. They're all basically advertisements.
Yeah, they are.
Pokemon absolutely nailing it for what is the biggest IP in human history. If you don't know how much money Pokemon makes, it dwarfs Disney. Pokemon is terrifyingly huge.
I think if it wasn't split between 3 companies and all the money only went to one company, whichever company that is would probably be the biggest one on the planet.
It's scary how much money Pokemon has made. Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously the card game has been hugely successful. I would say that the anime is not that great. Ooh, case closed. That's a good one to bring up. That's a weird one to bring up because like I don't feel like it's as important. It's better.
Yeah.
And I say that with a lot of love in my heart for Digimon, because out of these 3, Digimon is the only one that has like a good anime. The Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime are not great. They're ads.
The American versions.
Mm-hmm. Digimon set out to be an advertisement, and then I don't know. The writers were like, "Let's make it good. Let's make it better than the games and the merch." And you wind up having like an actually really good story in Digimon. I don't know if that was their intent or if it's just a happy accident.
I don't think it was. It's like, hey, we got to show these characters to the best of their ability so people want to buy them.
Mm-hmm. Yu-Gi-Oh! I get why the anime went the direction that it did because, obviously they were selling the cards. I wish that it had continued the way that the manga had started because the manga went so hard. Did you read the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga? Oh, it's so good. Yugi does not fuck around. So we're going to talk Yu-Gi-Oh! Real quick here. I know that we just hit 7:00, like, it's time, but we're going to talk Yu-Gi-Oh! And why you should start reading the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga. Start reading the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga. So it starts off, he's the king of games, and each little mini arc in the manga features a different game. It's not all about the card game. The card game doesn't come in until later.
Wait, so it's not Duel Monsters?
No. So it starts off about different games. I mean, he still has the is it the Millennium Puzzle?
Yeah, the Millennium Puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah, that like he starts to share his body with this long dead pharaoh. But like it's a really dark story, and he challenges these people to, you know, his shadow game, and whoever loses gets dragged to the shadow realm. They die. They die and they get dragged to hell.
As I explained last week, that's not the shadow realm. They're dead.
Here is everybody's favorite part about trying to explain the difference between the Yu-Gi-Oh that you saw on TV and the Yu-Gi-Oh that you got in manga. This is everybody's favorite part of the early manga. He set a man on fire. It's so good. Like they do that. There's a dice game. They do the card game fairly early on, but then they move on to something else. And then, like, I don't know, at some point they're like, let's develop a card game. But they play Dungeons and Dragons at one point. It's all over the place. And that's why early Yu-Gi-Oh is so good, because it's always a different game. And seeing him deal with these awful people who agree to play these shadow games with him because they're being terrible and they have to be punished. And it's so good. It's so good.
Yugi Moto is literally Ghost Rider for gaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
you heard it here, folks. Ghost Rider, Yugi Moto, same person.
Yeah, read like the first year or two of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga before it just goes all into the cards. Early Yu-Gi-Oh manga is wonderful, and I completely recommend it.
Nice. And then, of course, we get back to the OG Big Three, as we are going to do.
Yeah, and there's nothing to discuss with them. I mean, we all know why they were popular. We all know the importance of when they came out. That's the Big Three. Have there been other really important shows that came out during significant times that changed our culture and how we consume Japanese media? Yes, but nothing like the Big Three. And I don't think we're going to see another, Big Three. We might have another change in how we consume media, the way that we interact with anime, the way that we consume it. That there might be some more significant shows or manga or events that happen, but we're not going to get a repeat of what we got in the 2000s.
We can't because it's anime is here. It's not like being introduced. It's not like you said, it's of the time, because you can't just recreate that time and be like, oh, here, we're going to introduce this. Like, no, I know anime now. I know all about it. I've got my trash taste. I've got my good taste. I've got my dumpster fires. I know what I like, and that's what I'm going to gravitate towards. When those three came out, everybody's like, what's this? Like, the people that weren't us, that weren't watching it already, were like, what's this? Let me see what it's about. And then they got hooked.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the next big significant thing will be the death of Isekai.
I'm sorry. So it sounds like you said something impossible to me.
Eventually, that dam is going to break.
As much as I would look forward to that, it's not going to be in our life. It's not going to be in our lifetime, because everybody wants to go to another world.
It could happen eventually.
Yeah,
how about instead of escaping to another world, we make the one that we're living in better?
I mean,
it's a lot of work. I know.
That's not good anime.
I don't know. I think it could be. I think it could be.
No. I take that back. There is one of my ones that I watched that most people wouldn't believe that I watched, about the girls going to Antarctica. And they actually,
I need to watch that one. That one's apparently really good.
It is so good. And it's just about them and the things that they do. And they actually start doing good things for the community to help raise awareness, to do things. And yeah, they did good things for the planet, so they could go to one place that they'd always heard about.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, okay, you're right. So anime like that can be good if it's done well.
And I think it's important. There's other ones like Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken. Anime that inspires you to do more with the life that you have. I think that is way, way more important than having anime that just escapes you somewhere else where you are suddenly a badass and everything goes your way.
Yeah,
or the worst possible situation, like Shield Hero or something like that.
Oh God! Oh, I forgot. Yeah,
you forgot about Shield. You're like,
I forgot
Konosuba's the worst case scenario.
I was like, Konosuba's bad. You're like, Shield Hero.
Konosuba has darkness. Yeah. Konosuba's not that bad.
Yeah, Konosuba's not that. I forgot. Yeah, Konosuba's not that bad anymore.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Shield Hero. Shield Hero. That sounds rough.
Yeah, so I can't even say that because it's a main part of the story of why they treat him that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any anime that you watch where it's such an escape from reality that you watch the main character buy a slave and you're like, okay. I don't condone this, but I understand your decision.
Right. I understand what you're
if I was in your situation, I'd probably do that too. Does that make me a bad person?
In reality, you wouldn't do it, so I don't see that it would.
He was in a bad place. We are all capable of awful things, and that's why I like the anime that are more realistically grounded, positive and uplifting. I think that those are more important, and I think we need more of those. We need those to replace the isekai trend. Ooh. And I think that a lot of it is probably just reflective of how the world is right now. I get it. We all want a different planet.
I'm tired of living through historic events. No.
Every time I look at the news, I'm like, God, I wish I could wake up in some shitty fantasy world where, life is way harder.
I don't even want that. Let me just give me sliders. Let me slide to the left. Let me see what's to the left. Let me slide down. Let me slide back. What's over here?
Sliders.
Let me go to that.
Man, thanks for dating both of us, Reggie.
You're welcome.
It's not anime related, but that reminds me. We heard the song Cleopatra 2525. I forget why it came on, and I was like, oh shit, I remember that show. And Shannon was like, show? And I showed her the opening, and I think it might be the worst thing she's ever seen in her life.
I think I watched maybe an episode. I was like, oh cool. I'm like, what the what is that? I'm done.
It replaced so when Sliders got canceled where I was before Sci-Fi Channel picked it up later, that was what replaced it in its time slot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And I was like, what is this?
That hurt to go from that non-ending of Sliders to Cleopatra 2525. It was such a punch in the face.
It was, but we wouldn't have got Gina Torres without it.
That's true. I was watching, so I didn't even put it together.
Pratt? Seriously?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry, Victoria. So, Victoria Pratt, she's like a mid-tier actress. I've seen like a lot of her stuff randomly. I don't know how, but she would just show up, like Jamie Lee Presley. She's like Jamie Lee Presley. Just show up in something I'm watching.
She just occasionally shows up, and you're like, "Is that Jamie Lee Presley?"
Exactly.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Presley. Gina Torres. I didn't put it together until I was watching that opening with Shannon, and I saw Gina Torres' name pop up, and I was like, "That name is familiar." That name is really familiar. And then we were watching Firefly the next night, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's okay because I didn't put it together till right now, and I'm like, "What was that show?" I'm like, "Oh, what? Okay."
There you go. We went from, and that tells you something. Sometimes you cannot say that a show is bad because the actors are bad. Sometimes the show is just bad. Gina Torres is fantastic. She's absolutely fantastic. And I'm so glad that Cleopatra 2525 did not end her career. We're way off topic now.
Just a little
10 minutes over.
It happens. When don't you and I get off topic? When don't we?
It's always off topic. We're always off topic.
There is no topic.
Do you want to end the show? I'll time you. I want to see how quickly you can end the show.
You know, fine. I'm up for your challenge, sir.
Okay, hang on.
Up for your challenge.
Let me get my stopwatch going.
Out.
Let me get it going.
I was gonna say I'm gonna let you do it, but you challenged me.
No, ever since Mayhem brought it up, I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious.
Another problem for Mayhem. Thank you.
Okay,
Mayhem.
Ready? Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the show. This has been my best friends Weebing a Hyro Geek X Unlimited show. We appreciate you guys watching. We will be switching up our format a little bit. We won't be a weekly show anymore. We will now be going bi-weekly. So we will not be here next week, but we will be here the week after that. So come and watch us then. Thank you for watching. I am Raw Sun God, the bottom puncher. And that's Steven Seigencat over there. He probably punches bottoms too, but he doesn't talk about it. Thank you for watching.
You don't punch and tell.
Thank you for watching,
guys.